Hello friends, thank you very much for joining in for today's session. And I'm Ganesh Nayak and I'm back with my quick video on career conversation wherein I've been asking few of my students who have already cleared FRM level 1 and level 2, and they're coming on the video and helping us to know how they have prepared for the exam, what it takes to clear the FRM exam, and many more details. Okay, so for this conversation we have one of our students, Shraddha, with us. Hello Shraddha, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Good morning.
Good morning. So Shraddha, so primarily, let us start the interview. And primarily, the first question that the audience might be interested to understand is before FRM, what exactly you were doing? What was your profile?
So before FRM, I was just a graduate. So I did my graduation in Bachelor in Accounting and Finance. So that's it. So I was just graduate before doing the FRM, and after completing my graduation, I joined a small brokerage firm to gain a knowledge about the industry and all that stuff. So after that, I have joined brokerage firm. So what I can say is when I joined a small CA firm, or at that time, I understood that the working in the CA firm, and because you are not a CA and you are not an article, so it is very difficult to grow there.
Right.
So after that, I joined a brokerage firm in risk management department. So yeah, so I was working with a small brokerage firm where I was responsible for managing risk for the clients. So yeah, so like that I have worked before FRM.
Okay. Okay. So, so basically you were a graduate with say 1 or 2 years of experience, and that too into not an MNC, primarily an Indian company or say a small brokerage unit.
Yes,
Then
yes.
what was the trigger point that led you to go for the exam?
So when I was working with the small brokerage firm, I realized that I am managing risk for the small individual clients of my broker. So I had conversation with one of my cousins who is working with leading investment banks at that time. So I had a conversation with him and I asked that how I can grow in this sector and risk sector.
Right.
So at that time, I came to know about the FRM course, and I go and asked him about it and how the curriculum is and how it goes like that. So yeah, so I got information about FRM from my cousins, and we had conversation about it, and I think it was my what you can say, my interest part, or my what I want to do in my future. So I decided to go for that one.
Right. So primarily because you were handling something into risk, so that was a very natural thing for you to see how you
Yes,
can grow in that domain, and
yes,
you came across the certification. Okay. Then
yes, yes.
once you started FRM, so once you looked at the curriculum, did you realize that few of the topics are difficult or few of the topics are easy because of the work that I'm doing? Was there any such thing that happened?
Yes. So because I was in the brokerage firm, so I easily relate to the option part, or you can say the third book, which we have the market, the financial product stuff. But yeah, so I found that very easy because I was working with the clients and I was working with the brokerage firm. So it is natural because I know the call quotes, I know the trading strategies which we
Right.
study. So that helped me a lot in studies also, and as well as my while working also. So that part I could say that it was useful for me. But yeah, apart from that, when I was studying, I was preparing for level 1. I think uh, book 4, in which we have the risk models and VAR.
Wow,
So
models.
yeah, that part was really something new for us because we have never came across such terminology, because being a fresher and graduate, I was not able to recollect any terms of VAR you can say, or discount rate,
Valuation.
or terms like that. Yeah.
So primarily book 4 was something which you were not initially
challenging.
comfortable with. And
Yes,
so,
yes.
what was your strategy in terms of preparation, and especially with respect to book four? So, during that period, how did you prepare for book four and overall FR?
So, because I was working with brokerage firm, so I was working and I was managing the study. So, what is the most difficult part for me to study daily? Because I was not connected to study because I had 1 year gap between my graduation and my starting with FRM. So yeah, so there is some difficulties, but I try to get connected with studies daily. So I think minimum 1 hour for study I used to do at that time, and after that in weekends I study like 4 and 5 hours continuously so that I can trigger exam very easily. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So primarily, consistently, you're going through the content. You're going through the. And what about question bank? So were you heavily
Yeah.
solving?
Yes. So the strategy which I followed is I have completed my reading parts of the books before 1 month of exam. So before 1 month, I have what you can say. I have read all the topics and I have gone through all the chapters which we have in book. But in the last 1 month, I totally focused on solving the questions, because
Okay.
once you read, you know the topic, but you don't know the implication of that and how you will solve the questions. So yeah, question bank helps very much in preparation. So yeah, I have solved question bank. I think in level 1 we have to solve question banks more, because it is very important, because you know the topics, you have studied it, but for the implication and for the exam preparation point of view, the question bank is very important.
So when you sat for the exam, that was 4 hours in the morning from 8 to 12, 100 questions. What happened at that point in time? Any idea? Any memories? How many numbers of questions you was able to solve? Was there any panic? Any difficult number of questions? Anything about that exam?
So yeah, so the exam day is really something very challenging day of your life. But yeah, because when you enter into the exam room, you see that experienced people also sitting to give the exam which you are giving. And because I was having only 1 year or 2 years of experience and not into the risk, in total risk domain. So yeah, so you feel your confidence will go like, I don't know, I'm appearing for this, but uh, I'm really doing it. I was not realizing that. So yeah, so that is very what you can say, the nervous part of the exam. But yeah, when you go and appear, so when you start doing it, and if the concept is clear in your mind, so yeah, it is something you can like easily go out to. Like
So
it is easy
out of
to do.
100 questions, any idea how many questions you were able to solve properly? That means you had a confidence that I know something about this question.
So I think out of 100 questions, I can say I able to answer around 70. Yeah. So 70 questions, I'm confident about that. Yeah, this is from this book, and I know this topic, and I can solve this.
Okay.
Because the 30% of the questions which we have gotten is for theory part.
Right.
So the
Right.
theory part you read in the book, like in the level 1 there is first module of risk management, and this is all the theory. Yeah, and the theory is very subjective, what you can say. So in that part you need to think, like what is the implications, like you know the implication, but sometimes in the answer, when you see the options, you will feel like, no, this is not the right implications, or this is not the right answer. So that 30 question I was stuck of the theory, but most of the practical part I am able to solve it, and I was little confident about that. yeah, I will be able to solve it. Yeah,
Great, great, great.
because I've solved a lot of question banks.
So, because okay, let us move to the FRM level 2 now. So when we talk about FRM level 2, so obviously the portion is very vast. And what was your strategy, and what was that area which was you felt that you're weak into, and how did you prepare for that weakness or difficult part for FRM level 2?
So just now I've said that the theory part is most difficult part. So I feel in level 2 operational book, operational risk book, that is book 2 or book 3, I guess. So in that, if you see the Basel theory or Basel's 1, 2, 3 and all that stuff, and they have repos and all that stuff. So yeah, so generally it is practice that you study it for twice. So before the exam, at least you go through first time when you are going through that topic, and second, revising is very useful in level 2 because it is all of theory. So when you read it for the first time, you understand the concept, but you will not remember
Remember
it.
it.
Yeah, so that is the difficult part. So my strategy for level 2 is I have to go revisit all the books after completing the first reading, because in first reading you will not remember all the topics. And yeah, so after that I have made some small pointers for the theoretical part, so that I can remember it very easily, and at the time of the exam it save my time. So if I want to go through any small chapters, so I have pointers with me, I have notes with me, so I can go through and just go ahead with other topics, which is very useful other than operational risk. So I think credit risk book is also heavy with the conceptualizing the thing. So we have exposure, credit exposure and all that stuff. So yeah, like that I have prepared for the exam. And for level 2, I think the question bank you will not have, like question that we have in question bank is not as per the examination point of view, because when you appear for a level 2 exam, the question which you face is much more what you can say competitive than level 1,
Yes.
because yeah.
Fixed questions are asked primarily, or market risk, credit risk questions, and
Yes,
also the number of questions that you see in level 2 is generally less as compared to the number of
yes,
questions that you see in the level 1 in terms of the preparation. So definitely that's a big change. And one more point which you should likely mention is that since the calculation is very less in level 2, you find it
yes,
very dry, you find it very theoretical to keep on reading. And obviously, the more you read, more chances it's for you to clear the exam, right?
yes,
So
yes.
wonderful. At the time of the exam for FRM level 2 exam, so was there any time constraint that you felt? Because it was only 80 questions, 4 hours. So was there any time constraint you felt in the exam day?
So in level 2, I don't think there is any time constraint. But yeah, for one question you have to spend time around 2 to 3 minutes while reading, because the question is very big, and
Right.
we need to read all the information which they have given, because it can be from any chapters or combination with any chapters. So we have to recollect all the concept which we have studied. So yeah, so and the answers and the options. So the option is not like only one liners or two liners. That
Right.
can be option of three
Three
liners, and
liners,
we have
yes.
to read all four options, and after that you have to evaluate that how which answer is correct, because there is some minor difference in the options.
Right.
So and it is very subjective. So yeah, so like that and because it is I would say this is very funny thing, but it is afternoon time,
Okay.
and yeah, it is 2 to 6, and it is afternoon time, and obviously everyone is found this theory is very boring. So when they study lots of people just in the examination hall, they just take 2 minutes rest before going into the next question, because it is afternoon time, you're feeling very low, and because of the exam pressure, you'll find lots of people like
Taking a
what
quick,
to do.
quick nap. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting.
Uh,
So, so definitely, I mean, obviously, time is there, but the question itself that FRM level 2 will test you is heavy. In the sense, they will give you a lot of unnecessary information so that it wastes your time, and they will make the options which bigger, which you will not find in FRM level 1. So definitely a
yes.
good point. Now, after FRM level 2, you cleared the FRM exam. What was your, was there any direct or indirect benefit that you saw? When I'm referring to direct, that means related to job, related to compensation. Indirect means recognition. So any change that happened in your life?
So I would say not after FRM level 2, but obviously after FRM level 1, I got opportunity with one of the leading investment banks.
Okay.
Till then, when I cleared level 1, I was working with a small brokerage firm for the risk management role. But after, as soon as I cleared my FRM level 1, so I was looking for opportunities in, you can say, multinational banks or multinational companies or investment banks. So I started searching for it, and I got opportunity with one of the leading investment banks after clearing my FRM level 1. So yeah, before FRM level 1, yes, I was getting the job opportunities and the roles, but the roles which I was expecting and the role which I want to do or related to FRM was not related to that. So yeah, so it creates huge difference after clearing FRM when I got opportunity with
So
multinational bank.
was it related to the job roles? So you saw a lot of different and good roles coming to you after FRM level 1. Was that the case?
Yes, yes. Lots of it. I have been interviewed by two banks, multi investment banks. So I got selected for one of them. So I think the one which I have selected is much more uh, good
Good.
for me
Okay.
rather than going for the second one. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And one more thing which I feel like, for example, if you've done FRM or any certification basically, you get to move to a different role altogether, like we mentioned. But if suppose you wouldn't have done, you would have been mostly in the that broking industry, and you would have been
Yes.
a part of that, right? So that shift happened for you.
Yes. So, yeah, I was looking for it, but because we are just graduate and we just have 2 years of experience, to get into the investment bank or MNCs was really difficult for us. And for me, if I am a formal girl, I don't have such contacts who can refer me to that role or to refer to my that kind of jobs which are relevant to me. So yeah, it was really difficult to go into from small Indian brokerage industry to MNC. But yeah, it is like really struggle if you go for it. But I think FRM helped me a lot. FRM helped me in my gaining the knowledge and ability to speak or ability to convey my knowledge through the FRM or based out of FRM is very useful. So yes,
And
so
one more small point, I mean, just what difference did you saw when you moved from an Indian company or a small company to a big MNC? What difference did you saw?
I would say the working culture which is like really necessary in this field. So the working culture is very different. So here in the brokerage firm, it is all of, we can say, the small people or the people who is daily dealing into the market, and they are not as professional as people we connect with. If you say the investment banks or multinational companies. So
Okay.
yeah, so it makes different. because while you deal with the people, you would know that yes, this is the main advantage of going into the MNC or investment bank, that the people are professional, they are helpful, and they'll always motivate you to go towards your goal and go ahead with your career. And they are very career oriented, I would say, the more career oriented. And in the Indian firm, they are happy with what they are doing. They are not flexible as the people we have in a investment bank, I think.
Interesting take. And thank you very much, Shraddha, for being a part of this conversation and helping the new guys who are going to be giving for the exam this year or in future to understand how was your preparation, what all problems you felt, from which background you came, you gave the exam, you conquered the exam. So that discussion was really, really helpful, and I'm sure a lot of people will see it and a lot of people will get motivated by this story. So thank you very much, Shraddha,
Thank you
for
so
your time.
much.